I'm Josh Robertson, FSR here in Eastern North Carolina. Out here today with Justin Jones, our Climate Activation Manager, to introduce to you the 2020 version of the Climate Fieldview Virtual Field Day. So we can't come to you live this year, we can't have our big field day like we normally have, but we're doing our best to capture some footage and bring you some good information virtually to tell you a little bit about Fieldview and how it can help your operation.
As Josh mentioned, I'm the Climate Activation Manager for North Carolina through Georgia. I live here locally in Eastern North Carolina. And today we're going to bring you a couple different things. We're going to start and visit with some farmers here locally who are utilizing the tool, as well as some local retail organizations who are also utilizing the tool. Later in the day, we'll bring you some information from Kieth Caldwell, one of our Climate Activation Managers, and then we'll follow it up with some changes to our 2021 marketing programs. Joining us now is Kieth Caldwell. He's one of our Climate Activation Specialists, and we have these technicians scattered out throughout the countryside. So if you need help on the farm, let us know. We'll be happy to send one to you. And Kieth, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Justin. We're here today with Kieth Caldwell, Climate Activation Specialist for North Carolina. Kieth, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yep, I'm Kieth Caldwell. I've been in agriculture my whole life, pretty much. My father farms, and then after college, after high school, I went to college for some agronomy courses so I could get further my education in the field. And now I look forward to just helping farmers in Climate Fieldview.
So with being a climate activation specialist, tell us what all is involved in actually being this specialist that you are.
Certainly. What we do is I actually help get climate started on your farm. So whether it's setting up field boundaries, whether it's setting up equipment, find out what equipment's compatible, if you need any harnesses to collecting your data and getting it in that cloud-based management system, that's what I'm here to help get started and get you up and rolling.
So if I sign up for Climate Fieldview today, you're going to come out and you're going to make sure that I'm up and running.
That's correct. I'm your own farm support.
I got you. So I don't have to do all this by myself.
That's correct.
Sign me
Best
up.
of all, I'm free of charge from Bayer. So
free, and you're going to get this thing up and going for me?
That is correct.
I don't know how you get any better than that.
That's right.
So Kieth, tell us a little bit about how long it takes for you to get out. So if I sign up today, what is kind of your time frame as far as when you're going to be reaching out and how that process goes?
So usually when you sign up for Climate Fieldview, we initiate sending you out a drive and your equipment. Usually within that time frame, I get notified if I'm your CAS, the Climate Activation Specialist for your area. I get notified that you have got a drive sent to you. So I initiate the conversation with you usually within that week, and we were usually on that farm within a week and a half. We're on your farm if that schedule suits you.
Sure. Well, a question that I've been asking several other people, and I'm going to ask you today, is with all this talk about Climate Fieldview and the work that you've done across the Carolinas and Southern Virginia is getting these guys up and going on Fieldview, digital ag is really transforming the face of agriculture. What do you see, or how do you see digital ag transforming agriculture from your perspective?
I see digital ag as making a lot of decisions easier for the farmer, the small farm to the large farm to micromanage your farm. So, and I think especially with climate, we fit that bill from that small to that large farmer to where he can micromanage his farm. So we're a one size fits all for farmers.
Gotcha.
No, I think it's a platform for every generation. The reason I say so, my father's in his mid-70s. Sort of standoffish at first, but once I got him to see the ease of the iOS system that we run on, which is Apple, he is very much so adapted. I mean, he can remote view, as we spoke earlier. He can see into his farm. He can look up his hybrids. A common saying I like to say to somebody that's a little reprehensive of climate, most of them when they pull out their iPhone to check their emails, my famous statement is, if you can work your iPhone, I can get you working climate.
Thanks, Kieth. We appreciate all that you do to help the Climate Fieldview business here in the Carolinas. So now we're going to travel out to Jeff Lancaster's farm and Angus Farms and talk with his son Jess Lancaster. They got on board with Climate Fieldview this year, and we're going to find out how that went.
My name is Jess Lancaster. Farm right outside of Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I'm 28 years old. I had the opportunity to come back and farm with my father. Once I got out of college, I graduated from NC State in 2013 with a degree in ag business management. I had a professor at NC State, and he pretty much told you, change is inevitable, and if you don't change, you're going to get left behind, and that's one thing definitely. Agriculture has been modernized in the last several years, and it's no slowing down. And the technology that Climate has come out with, that we've been able to utilize in our operation, is it's been phenomenal. We've used it 1 year, and like I said, it's not only that, but just got to talk with Josh and Justin, and got set up this year, and we used it from spray and burn down on all of the crops to setting tobacco and planting corn and soybeans, and it was nice to be able to keep up with everything, and the dates as far as certifying our crops. It was super easy, and just being able to see what was going on what days, and what varieties and populations is a very simple way to keep up with it. It's right there in the tractor cab, and you can pull it up on your phone, and it's a very simple system, and very user friendly. So we've used a couple of the other competitors before, and I think the thing that sold us on Climate was the fact that we had the iPad with us in the tractor, and you can map it, and like I said, field to field, we have small fields around here. We may plant 40, 50 fields a day, and not go over 100 acres. And so just being able to not have to remember where I was at that day, all I have to do is hit start. We like I said, we used it setting out tobacco, and something that I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do or not. And talking with Josh and a couple more guys, figured out how to make it work and how to set the transplanter up. And there's a farm we have, and we tried a couple of different modes of action on chemicals in the transplant water, and a couple different varieties, and being able to keep up with that throughout the whole year. And I can carry my phone or my iPad, or my father can, and we can go straight to that field and tell exactly where we did what. And it's definitely changed the way we're going to do things in the future. And new technology and older equipment, we don't have a whole lot of newer equipment. We run older combines, and there's the opportunity to be able to run technology on the older equipment, and that just doesn't, that you don't have to go out and buy the new X9 John Deere combine to have technology and spend $800,000. You could come off a 4,000 or 5,000 and have a yield monitor that runs with Climate in your combine, and we're going to look into putting one on one of our machines.
Now we're going to switch gears a little bit. We've had a farmer's perspective. We're going to switch over to see what the retail guys are doing. Some of these retail guys locally, we've got two guys that we're working with that have tested out Climate Fieldview on their custom application equipment. We'll talk to them about what their experience was and how they see digital ag transforming their business going forward.
Barry Lewis with Partway Ag out of Tarboro, North Carolina. I do a little bit of all of the purchasing, work with the sales guys on program management, and seed and chemicals, pretty much all those different things. I'm jack of all trades and a master of none.
Yeah, my name's Sam Anderson with Parkway Ag here in Tarboro as well, and my position is we'll kind of work at the front counter. I help Barry purchasing and ordering products. So far, I've been kind of the main one installing Climate Fieldview on our machines and kind of getting that started, and just kind of do a little bit of everything.
Custom application on liquid side, dry side, custom application on spraying. I mean, in order to be in this business and be in this business for the long term, you're gonna have to conform to all the new things that are going on in the business, whether it be digital ag, whether it be custom application in some cases, whether it be seed chemistry that's new, bringing forth new technologies, whether it be again the digital ag platform or anything new. You got to stay on the forefront, or you'll be left behind real quick to stay in time.
What we've seen this year with 2020 being, with the virus and everything going on, everything's going more digital. I think this is going to change the way we do a lot of things, and I think that'll just be built upon from here going forward. From an installation standpoint, I've installed it in 5 machines so far, and probably after the first 2, became pretty repetitive. In probably about 20 minutes, I can get in the machine, get it installed, get all my measurements and everything lined up, ready to go, in 20, 30 minutes, and we'll be rolling out the door, going to the field. Well, from a support standpoint, I got to say, it's been very good, very positive experience so far. Everybody that I contact usually gets back with me, pretty quickly, or as quick as they can. And I've had, customers that are running it in their own machines in the field come and say, "Hey, Sam, what's going on? I can't figure this out." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not sure, but I know who to call." And, if it's calling you or Justin or whoever, I've had a customer call Justin directly, and he got right back to him, got his problem fixed, and pretty quickly got back going.
One thing I do like about it is every farmer becomes a researcher. I mean, when it comes to that, because he can spray something different on one farm than another, and then go back and look at the yield, see how the data, and he gets his own data per se. He can put varieties side by side.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be great in the aspect that the farmer can look at these varieties and do his own research in some respect on his own farm. I like that because, we're looking at nutritional products that we might want to look at a test plot with. We're looking at fungicide products that we want to test out and see how well they do. Well, you can look at them in the field and say, well, there's a difference there, but when it comes to yield, that's what pays the whole bill.
Yep, that's right.
It can look better, and if it don't yield better, then it's not making you money, so it's not worth the money. They can determine that themselves by doing that. I mean, it's like all new systems. I mean, it's not perfect yet, and maybe it will be one day, maybe it won't, but who knows? Yep. I mean, I feel like you guys have invested money, I know, into the system, so you're going to try to make it work as perfectly as possible. So it's not perfect at this point, but that's the way any new technology.
Yep.
All right, my name is Bob Peel. I'm with Southern States Cooperative out of Tarboro, North Carolina. I'm the operations manager here at our agronomy center. We currently do custom application with fertilizer based on soil samples that we take with the program we use. We also do custom spray application out of our location. And we also are precision planting dealers as well.
Bob, how do you feel like digital ag has changed what you do with Southern States and your business overall?
Well, Southern States, if you look at it from the grower level, it's kind of, if you were going out there broadcasting fertilizer, and before we really got technological and doing the soil sample grids and everything, you were kind of just throwing a blanket on it, kind of somewhat going out there blind. And now with the digital technology and really focusing in on the acre and what the productivity is going to be on that acre instead of on a whole field level, is really brought new insight to like what's actually possible and what can be achieved on everybody's farm.
But y'all have really aggressively moved into promoting Fieldview, and I know you and I have worked together to get your Fieldview stuff on the application equipment you've got. Talk about that a little bit and what that means to your business and why you made that, why Southern States and your group made that choice to go with Fieldview on your equipment.
With Fieldview and our equipment, the one thing I think of is accountability, because the ability to share that map directly with that grower by the end of the day, or even when you're through with that particular field, if that client wants it that fast, it really makes us, not that we're doing anything wrong to start with, but it makes you double check everything, make sure it's right, and that grower is reassured at the end of the day. Instead of going out there and looking for tire tracks, I can either print them off a PDF map, email them to them that way, or share it live through the Fieldview app.
So Bob, you guys have got the Climate Fieldview stuff set up in your application equipment. How easy was it to get set up? And then how easy was it to train your applicators? And then when you go to talk about Fieldview with a farmer and what you're doing in your application equipment, how receptive have they been to what you're doing with that?
Well, our setup is actually very simple. I actually did all the setup myself, installed the equipment, got it set up with the help of one of the techs that you provided for us. But it was very user-friendly to set up, not very complicated at all on the equipment we had. To training our operators, kind of dipped them in slowly, just to get them mapping and everything like that. New to the process, new to the application myself in that, so I didn't want to expect more from them than I could actually provide information to them at the time. But it was received by my applicator almost immediately. Just he enjoyed the map compared to the equipment we have in there. It was a small not as high def map as what the iPad's providing. Also directions to a field, adding a field, dropping a pin instead of turn down this road, take a right by that tree, and then you're at the farm. Like being able to drop a pin and actually go find that field, or him not actually have to find it, just press directions to the field and it would automatically take him there.
So at the end of the day, if the grower shows up and there's an issue in the field at the field level, you're able to dig back through every layer that you created with Fieldview with that grower and really start digging into what happened out in that field while you may be having an issue.
Correct. Like I said, it's accountability, whether accountability on our side or accountability on the grower side.
Yep.
It just holds everybody honest to what actually occurred in that field, whether it's spraying or fertilizer spraying.
So with adding Fieldview in the mix, do you feel like it's extra, or is it actually helped to solve some issues and maybe lessen the burden that otherwise would be out there? I know you talked about being able to track down problems and the accountability piece. So to me, that sounds like good things and not bad.
Right.
What do you think about that?
It's always something going into it. You worry if you're going to have the time to put into it and everything like that. But the great thing about Fieldview is the data's there when you're ready for the data. One of the main things me and a grower sat down and noticed is that he had a little wet spot in his field. And I was looking at the yield analysis, and there was just a spot that was bad. It covered almost an acre out there. And we looked at it, he said, "Oh man, that's just like a little bitty mud hole. That's nothing." I said, "Well, you say it's nothing, but look at this map.
Yeah.
That nothing is a whole lot out here." And it kind of opened his eyes up that, man, I need to drag a level around there. I need to get this field smooth. Like that's taking away more than what I ever realized. And he's been tending that farm for years.
Right. I want to thank our retail partners, Southern States of Tarboro and Parkway of Tarboro, for participating in our 2020 virtual field day for Climate Fieldview. I thought those guys did a really good job. So now we're going to switch gears again and go to our Climate Activation Manager to talk about the 2021 marketing programs.
Thanks, Josh. So we do have some big changes coming up in 2021 to the Fieldview marketing strategy. Starting September 1 of 2020, our pricing strategy is going to change. Previously, it's been $1,000 for a 365-day subscription of Fieldview Plus. We're dropping that price to $99.99. You heard that right. For $100, you can have a year subscription to Fieldview Plus. Furthermore, if you're a Bear Plus user, you can take advantage of our Bear Plus Plus program. To do this, you log on to your Bear Plus account, you'll link your Bear Plus and your Fieldview account together, and you will earn a free year of Fieldview Plus.
Looking forward to the big changes coming with Climate Fieldview. I know a lot of guys have used the Track Before You Buy It program for a number of years now, and that's been really successful. So we look forward to seeing how this evolves the digital ag industry. If you've made it this far, we'd like to thank you for joining us. We hope this has been beneficial to you and that you've learned a lot about the digital ag and Climate Fieldview, what Climate Fieldview has to offer. If you have liked the video and you've enjoyed what you've seen, be sure to like and comment or share this video with those that you think may find it helpful as well. As well as that, David, tell us what else we've got.
Yeah, in the description below, there will be a link for you to take the quiz, to give us some good feedback so that we can know how we can make these better moving forward, and there may be some opportunities for some branded merchandise.
Thank you, David. Guys, with that, we'd like to conclude the 2020 virtual field day for Climate Fieldview. Thank you again for joining us. See you next year.